The alien observers watched the human military unit with a mix of curiosity and disdain. Their own society was built on strict hierarchies, where every individual knew their place and obeyed without question. To them, the humans seemed chaotic, their command structure loose and unpredictable. The aliens had studied human ranks extensively, or so they thought. They had identified the officers, the soldiers, and the support staff. But there was one human they couldn't quite categorize, a man they referred to as Document. He didn't wear the insignia of a high-ranking officer, nor did he carry himself like a typical soldier. Yet, the humans treated him with a level of respect that baffled the aliens. The alien commander, a tall, rigid figure named Vrax, stood at the edge of the observation deck, his four eyes narrowing as he watched the humans prepare for the joint training exercise. "They are disorganized," he remarked to his subordinate, a younger alien named Krell. "Their lack of discipline will be their downfall. They rely too much on improvisation and individual initiative. It's inefficient." Krell nodded, his antennae twitching in agreement. "Their command structure is unclear. That one, Doc, he doesn't even hold a formal rank. Why do they defer to him?" Vrax snorted, a sound that resembled the grinding of stones. "Perhaps they are confused. Humans are primitive compared to us. They lack the clarity of purpose that comes with a well-defined hierarchy. This exercise will prove our superiority." The humans, meanwhile, move with a quiet efficiency that the aliens fail to notice. Doc, a lean man with a calm demeanor, moved among the soldiers, checking equipment and offering quiet words of encouragement. He wasn't a traditional officer, but his presence commanded respect. The soldiers listened when he spoke, not out of obligation, but because they trusted him. Doc had earned their loyalty through countless missions, his actions speaking louder than any rank or title. As the exercise began, the aliens executed their strategies with precision. Their movements were calculated, their formations flawless. They advanced confidently, expecting the humans to falter under pressure. But the humans didn't falter. Instead, they adapted. When the aliens pressed too hard on one flank, the humans shifted their focus, exploiting gaps in the alien formation. Doc was at the center of it all, issuing commands that the humans followed without hesitation. The aliens were baffled. How could someone without a formal rank wield such authority? By the end of the exercise, the aliens were forced to retreat, their confidence shaken. Vrax stared at the battlefield, his mind racing. "This makes no sense," he muttered. "Their command structure is flawed, yet they defeated us. How?" Krell hesitated before speaking. "Perhaps we underestimated them. That human, Doc, he isn't just a medic. He's something more." Vrax's eyes narrowed as he considered the implications. The humans had proven that their way of doing things, while unconventional, was effective. The aliens had assumed that their rigid hierarchy was superior, but the humans had shown that flexibility and trust could be just as powerful. Vrax felt a flicker of doubt, a crack in his unwavering confidence. He had thought he understood human ranks, but now he realized he had only scratched the surface. There was more to humanity than he had ever imagined. The simulated battle began with the aliens executing their meticulously planned strategies. Their formations were flawless, their movements synchronized to perfection. They advanced with confidence, their rigid hierarchy ensuring that every soldier knew their role and followed orders without question. The humans, by contrast, appeared disorganized. They moved in what seemed like chaos, their actions unpredictable and their command structure unclear. The aliens watched with smug satisfaction, convinced that their superior discipline would guarantee victory. As the battle progressed, the aliens gained the upper hand. They captured key positions, their superior numbers and coordination overwhelming the humans. Vrax, the alien commander, observed from a distance, his confidence growing with each passing moment. "This is as expected," he said to Krell. "The humans lack the discipline to counter our strategies. Their so-called adaptability is nothing more than desperation." But then, something changed. Doc, the human medic, stepped forward. He wasn't a traditional officer, but the humans listened when he spoke. His voice was calm but firm, cutting through the chaos of battle. He issued commands with clarity and authority that belied his lack of rank. The humans responded instantly, their movements becoming more coordinated, their actions more deliberate. The aliens, caught off guard, struggled to adapt. Doc's commands were unconventional, exploiting weaknesses in the alien formation that their rigid strategies had overlooked. He directed the humans to flank the aliens, using the terrain to their advantage. The aliens, so focused on their own plans, were slow to react. Their hierarchy, once a source of strength, now became a liability. Orders had to travel up and down the chain of command, wasting precious time. The humans, meanwhile, acted with a speed and efficiency that left the aliens reeling. Vrax watched in disbelief as the tide of the battle turned. "What is happening?" he demanded. "How are they doing this?" Krell, his subordinate, hesitated before answering. "It's that human document. He's not following their command structure. He's improvising." The aliens, so confident in their superiority, found themselves on the defensive. Their rigid strategies, once a source of pride, now seemed like a cage. They were unable to adapt quickly enough to counter the humans' tactics. Doc's leadership was the key. He didn't rely on rank or hierarchy. He relied on trust and respect. The humans followed him because they believed in him, because they knew he would lead them to victory. As the battle reached its climax, the humans launched a final, coordinated assault. The aliens, their formations broken and their confidence shattered, were forced to retreat. The humans had won, not through superior numbers or technology, but through adaptability and leadership. Vrax stood in stunned silence, his mind racing. He had been so sure of their victory, so confident in their superiority. But the humans had proven him wrong. Krell approached cautiously, his antennae drooping. "Commander, perhaps we underestimated them. Their way of doing things. It's different, but it works." Vrax nodded slowly, his pride wounded but his curiosity piqued. "Yes," he said quietly. "There is more to these humans than we thought. We must learn from this. Their adaptability, their leadership. It is something we cannot ignore." The aliens had entered the exercise confident in their understanding of human ranks and command structures. They had assumed that their rigid hierarchy would guarantee victory. But the humans, led by Doc, had shown them the power of flexibility and trust. It was a lesson the aliens would not soon forget. The alien command center was silent, save for the low hum of their advanced technology. Vrax stood at the center, his 4 eyes fixed on the holographic replay of the battle. The humans' victory played out before him. Their movements fluid and unpredictable, their coordination seamless despite the apparent lack of a rigid command structure. Krell stood nearby, his antennae twitching nervously as he waited for Vrax to speak. The alien commander's pride had been wounded, but his curiosity was piqued. He needed to understand how the humans had defeated them. "Explain this," Vrax demanded, gesturing to the hologram. "Their command structure is flawed. They have no clear hierarchy, no defined roles. Yet they defeated us." "How?" Krell hesitated before answering. "It's not their structure, Commander. It's their philosophy. They don't rely on rank alone. They follow those who prove themselves, regardless of title. That human, Doc, he isn't a traditional officer, but they trust him. They listen to him because he has earned their respect." Vrax frowned, his mandibles clicking in frustration. Respect? Respect is earned through rank and discipline. Without a clear hierarchy, there is only chaos. "Perhaps," Krell replied cautiously, "but the humans thrive in chaos. They adapt, they improvise, and they trust each other to do what needs to be done. It's not about following orders blindly. It's about understanding the mission and working together to achieve it." Vrax turned away, his mind racing. The concept was foreign to him, almost incomprehensible. In his society, every individual had a role, a place in the hierarchy. Deviation was not tolerated. Yet the humans had shown that their way of doing things, while unconventional, was effective. It challenged everything Vrax believed about leadership and discipline. Later, Vrax met with a human officer in charge of the joint exercise, a grizzled veteran named Captain Harris. The human's demeanor was calm and confident, a stark contrast to Vrax's simmering frustration. "Your medic," Vrax began, his tone clipped. Document. He holds no formal rank, yet your soldiers follow him without question. How is this possible? Harris smiled faintly. Doc's not just a medic. He's a leader. He's been with us through thick and thin, and he's proven time and again that he knows what he's doing. Our soldiers trust him because he's earned that trust. It's not about rank. It's about competence and character. Vrax's mandibles twitched as he processed the words. But without a clear hierarchy, how do you maintain order? How do you ensure that your soldiers follow the correct chain of command? We don't, Harris replied simply. We give our people freedom to think for themselves, to make decisions based on the situation. It's not about blindly following orders. It's about understanding the mission and doing what needs to be done to achieve it. Sometimes that means stepping outside the chain of command. Sometimes it means trusting someone like Doc to take the lead. Vrax fell silent, his mind grappling with the implications. The humans' approach was the antithesis of everything he had been taught, yet their success in the exercise was undeniable. He couldn't dismiss it as mere luck or coincidence. There was something to their way of doing things, something that his own society lacked. As the meeting concluded, Vrax found himself reflecting on the cultural differences between their species. The aliens' rigid hierarchy had served them well for centuries, but it had also limited them. They were slow to adapt, slow to innovate. The humans, with their flexibility and trust, had shown a different path, one that Vrax couldn't ignore. Later, Vrax sought out document. The human medic was tending to a minor injury, his movements calm and precise. Vrax watched him for a moment, studying the man who had so thoroughly upended his understanding of leadership. You are not an officer, Vrax said finally, yet your soldiers follow you. Why? Doc looked up, his expression thoughtful. Because they know I've got their back, he replied. It's not about rank or titles. It's about trust. They know I'll do whatever it takes to keep them safe and get the job done. That's what matters. Vrax nodded slowly, the pieces falling into place. The human strength lay not in their technology or their numbers, but in their ability to trust and adapt. It was a lesson that Vrax knew he needed to learn, even if it meant challenging everything he believed. The aliens had entered the exercise confident in their superiority, but the humans had shown them a different kind of strength, one that couldn't be measured by rank or hierarchy. It was a lesson that would stay with Vrax long after the exercise was over. The alarms blared, shattering the uneasy calm that had settled over the joint human-alien base. A hostile alien fleet had emerged from the edge of the system, their intentions unmistakably aggressive. The aliens, still reeling from their defeat in the training exercise, scrambled to respond. But their rigid command structure, once a source of pride, now proved to be a hindrance. Orders had to travel up and down the chain of command, wasting precious time. The humans, meanwhile, moved with a speed and efficiency that left the aliens in awe. Doc was at the center of it all. He didn't wait for orders or permission. He assessed the situation, issued commands, and the humans followed without hesitation. The aliens, their own hierarchy paralyzed by indecision, had no choice but to defer to the humans. Vrax, the alien commander, watched in stunned silence as Doc took charge. It was a humbling experience, but Vrax knew they had no other option. The humans' adaptability was their only hope. The hostile fleet advanced, their ships sleek and menacing. The alien strategy, so effective in theory, fell apart in the face of the enemy's unpredictability. The humans, led by Doc, adapted on the fly. They used the terrain to their advantage, launching hit-and-run attacks that kept the enemy off balance. Doc's commands were precise and decisive, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos of battle. The aliens, following his lead, began to see the value in the humans' way of doing things. As the battle raged, the humans and aliens fought side by side. The aliens' discipline and technology complemented the humans' adaptability and ingenuity. Together, they began to turn the tide. Doc's leadership was the glue that held them together. He didn't just command the humans. He inspired aliens as well. His actions spoke louder than any rank or title, earning the respect of everyone on the battlefield. The turning point came when Doc devised a daring plan to disable the enemy's flagship. It was a risky move, one that required precise timing and coordination. The aliens, their rigid hierarchy unable to adapt quickly enough, deferred to Doc's leadership. He led the assault personally, his calm confidence inspiring both humans and aliens alike. The plan worked, and the enemy flagship was disabled, throwing the hostile fleet into disarray. With the enemy in retreat, the humans and aliens regrouped. The aliens, once so confident in their superiority, now looked at the humans with newfound respect. Vrax approached Doc, his mandibles twitching with unspoken emotion. "You have shown us a different way," he said quietly. "Your leadership, your adaptability, it is something we must learn from." Doc nodded, his expression calm but weary. "It's not about rank or hierarchy," he replied. "It's about trust. Trust in each other. Trust in the mission. That's what gets us through." The aliens, humble but wiser, began to reassess their own systems. They had entered the battle confident in their rigid hierarchy, but the humans had shown them the power of flexibility and trust. It was a lesson they would not soon forget. The humans, with their unique strengths, had proven that they were more than just allies. They were leaders. As the dust settled, the humans and aliens stood together, united by their shared victory. The hostile fleet had been defeated, but the real triumph was the bond that had formed between the two species. The aliens had learned that there was more to leadership than rank and discipline. The humans had shown them the power of adaptability, trust, and unity. It was a lesson that would shape their future, a future where humans and aliens stood side by side, stronger together than they could ever be apart.